Semantics is an important and useful field within the discipline of linguistics. Uh, in order to establish the importance of semantics in understanding meanings and building, creating, or storing meanings, we need to understand its place in overall linguistics. So we'll begin by knowing what is semantics in linguistics. Semantics is a technical term which is usually used to refer to the study of meaning. Meaning constitutes an important part of linguistic knowledge, because many people would assume that probably meaning is the most essential part of linguistic knowledge. If we do not understand the meaning of the language we speak, that language is not genuinely useful to us or may not be useful to our listeners. We may use it wrongly if we do not know the meaning. So, meaning may be probably potentially the most powerful component of a language, and its knowledge is very vital. Still, there are unfortunately not very serious effort or general effort to describe it scientifically. We'll talk about it later. Semantics in this way is the study of the meaning which are conveyed through or within the language. So, it in other words deals with the literal or conventional meanings. Modern linguistics include various meditations about linguistics or linguistic knowledge. It includes the knowledge of phonology, how to pronounce words, or how to produce words. It also includes how to construct sentences with the help of individual words, and then how to construct meanings with the help of words and sentences. All these domains are important meditations of the contemporary linguistics. Since linguistic description is an attempts to show a speaker's knowledge, semantics usually attempts to show semantic knowledge, which may be generalized to some extent in certain situations, or which may be useful for the learner or users of a language in a large range. In this module, we'll talk about various fields or areas which fall in the domain of semantics, which are relevant to semantics, and how semantics is associated with some other disciplines also. And as we know, we are confined with the limitation of time and space, and in this way we will be able to present only an overt survey of what includes semantics. Semantics is a very diverse field within the overall discipline of linguistics. And we find scores of scholars and researchers who are working in this field, various aspects of meaning, their conveyance, and their understanding, their production and perception. And they are using multiple methods to investigate them. Semantics is truly a dynamic field in the investigations of overall linguistics. Semantics also have a very strong relationship with some other fields of study, for example, philosophy and psychology, because these disciplines also deal with the creation and transmission of meaning. So it is unavoidable for a semanticist to study these fields if he or she wants to understand the meanings or the study of meanings properly. Let's have a look into this debate. If semantics is scientific or linguistics is scientific, it has to be based on some knowledge which can be generalizable, instead of looking into some isolated or specific instances, because scientific knowledge usually is based on generalizations. What is meant by scientific and empirical in semantics is still a debatable point, because meanings it deals with are prone to change with various conventions, with various cultures, and even with the passage of time. So any study which covers meaning of a language may not be that scientific as the true scientific knowledge claims itself to be. That's why it's not clear what constitutes an evidence for any statement about the meaning. Another difficulty, as I just mentioned, with the knowledge of semantics is that meanings are not stable. They keep on changing from speakers, hearers, and context. One statement may have different meanings if one of these elements or all three of these elements change with a different situation. This point may be explained further with the help of the terminology used by Saucer. The terms of lang and parole, that means language and speaking, or language, the knowledge of language and its performance. There may be difference between the knowledge of the language and its performance. One may have the knowledge, but he may not be able to perform that better. So therefore, a similar distinction needs to be introduced in semantics also. An individual's meaning is not a part of the general study of semantics. An individual meanings, a speaker's intended meanings may not be covered by the semantics, because semantics deal with the literal or conventional meanings which are there in the conventions of a language, or which are habitually used by the users of a language in most linguistic situations. So whatever the variations brought in the use of a language by an individual situation or by an individual user, that may not be the domain of semantics, because it may not cover that much variations of the use. So we need to understand the distinction between the usual meaning and the use. Usual meaning remains stable for a certain period of time. That's why they are available in dictionaries for a long time. Whereas the use may be different from situation to situation, and it may change very quickly. The same word may be used in various situations according to the need or use of the speaker. So in order to find the distinction between semantics and pragmatics, and also in order to find the distinction between the various kinds of meanings, we need to understand the difference between the knowledge of the language and meaning and the use of the language and the meaning.